3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
Hey folks, welcome. That's not Eric, and we're not in the box, or I guess in the office. It's Friday, so I'm hoping the news is out, but baby Hoyt number 2 is here. And so Eric, well, not physically here at Andy's house. That's not Hoyt baby number 2. But he has arrived. I don't know what his name is yet. I don't know if Eric and Meg know what his name is yet. So we'll just call him Happy Hoyt number 2.
Brave people.
Yes.
Are the ones who have babies without knowing what the sex is.
I agree. So I think that's it. I like that you call them brave. I remember people would ask us, like, are you going to find out? And my answer is always like, yes. They're like, oh, but it's the last thing that you could ever really be surprised about in the world today. And there's always so many things you can control. And I said, no, I got a lot of stuff that we can be surprised by. Hey, you're going on deployment 6 months earlier than you thought. Hey, you're moving to Hawaii. You thought you were staying in Virginia for the rest of your career.
Surprise.
Hey, right? Like,
yes.
I got plenty of surprises waiting for us. I was like, if we can control one thing,
right?
And we were still surprised because we got effing twins. So
exactly,
yeah. But I totally agree. Like, I appreciate Eric's reason for it's really cool. Like, because it was like they really enjoy waiting to see who it is that comes out.
That's awesome.
I agree. I think
really
it's
awesome.
A really cool.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, they have names, right? Like, and we did too. Like, we had like 2 or 3.
Right.
But you kind of gotta wait. You gotta wait to meet the little bugger.
Yeah.
And see what he or she looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you that how I named the babies. I gave the babies the wrong names, right?
No. What do you mean?
So the babies come out, they bring them to a little side room. They got baby A and baby B written on their hat, right? And they keep asking me, do you have names picked out? Do you have names picked out? Do you have names picked out? Issa's unfortunately getting sewn up in the other room. And I'm like, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I just felt like there was this immense amount of pressure.
They needed the answer then. And
they were like,
you went into midshipman 3rd class.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I'll give you an answer. Sure.
That one is Simara and that one is Drew. And to this day, I think I got them wrong. But it's all
now,
right.
has Issa said that she thinks you got them wrong?
Yes.
What? How does she know?
Well, because one is very light-skinned and Anglo-looking, and that's Simara.
Okay.
And then one is darker-skinned and has her family's green eyes.
Okay.
And that's
true. Right. And it should have been Simara should have had the green.
Yep.
So this will be a forever funny story.
It will be.
Are you gonna tell? You're gonna tell them?
Of course.
That's awesome.
And I mean, still, when they were like 9 months old, I said, honey, there's no reason we can't change their names. We have 2 birth certificates.
Right.
Zoop. Yeah.
We'll be the only ones who know.
Exactly.
Maybe your mother. I don't know. But
we can still change them.
You still got time. Oh, no, they know their names now.
Yeah, they do.
One's had a surgery, like major things. They're kind of identified at this point.
Yeah, they're kind of...
oh, that's hilarious. Still the coolest names. Still 2 of the coolest names. Hey, so this bear, this made me think of this joke. This bear walked into a bar and says to the bartender, says, hey, give me a gin and tonic. Bartender looks and says, man, what's with the big paws? The bear just kind of looks down at his hands. He goes, I don't know. I guess I was born with them. No?
I mean, it's a pretty good dad joke.
I mean, we were talking about born things, right? Like,
I will tell Maddie that one, and she'll give me the eye roll, which is, which means that you've done a good job. If you get
mission accomplished.
Yes.
Mission accomplished. Hey, do you know what the German word for bra is?
It's
stopping from flopping.
All right, I don't have a joke because I cannot top that one. That joke is
that's
the best German joke I've heard.
The best German joke you've ever heard.
I think. All right, enough.
Did this stop recording? It stopped recording. That's all right. I got double backups.
Yeah.
It'll have to do. So, week in review, folks. As we say, we take our time machine. It is
It's
Friday, and we've done a full week of WODs. And so we thought, though it is an off the creek version, visiting with my good friend, Mr. Andy Hunt, Commander United States Navy retired, but more importantly, longtime CrossFitter, first-time guest, which he's still upset about that it took this long to get episode 100,
for sure.
episode 135. You thought maybe you'd make it before then?
I mean, all it took was
The
Eric
birth-
and Meg
the birth
having
of a child.
second child, right? I couldn't even get in when the first child was born. Nope.
I don't know if we had started a podcast yet.
Yeah, you definitely have.
So we thought Andy would take. I'm gonna assume in today's episode, Jack will play the part of Eric, and Andy will play the part of Jack.
Hang on. I got it.
Do we need to change hats?
No, I think I need a dictionary with very large words.
Oh, that's got all kinds of jokes waiting for it. But so week in review, I thought we'd ask Andy kind of to explain sort of that standard. What was the intended stimulus? Why that workout was where it is? But he knows the first three: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He's gonna have to guess maybe what Thursday can be, and the guesses doesn't really matter. Like if you get specifics,
Right.
But then I'll give you the that totally is right, or no, it's gonna be this, and then we talk about Friday, and then we all know what Saturday is gonna be. And if not, don't worry, because we'll get there.
Yep.
Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So Monday, big clean complex.
Was that Monday or was that
That was
Tuesday?
Monday.
Well, wait. So what does that mean? So hang on. So before we do this, what? So today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Cycling a barbell, burpee box jump overs.
You're working backwards.
Yeah, I'm just trying to rack through my brain because I know I did Monday and Tuesday.
So Monday was the big clean. Tuesday
Yep.
was the machines. Was the you go, I go, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10
Right.
calories.
Right.
I needed the C2 or the echo. And you could do it in
jeez.
erg.
Yeah.
For the off the creek, it was the run. It was the 800, 600, 400, 200, 100 meter runs.
Okay.
Equal work to rest.
Got it.
So Monday, big clean complex. We've done that many times. I'd be curious to find out how it went too, compared to the one time. I think the last time we both did it was in the box, and it was the one I was telling you threw a weight across the gym and cracked one of the put a little crack in the wall because you dropped the jerk. You dropped the split jerk. You didn't land the split jerk at like 145 or one. Like you hit everything.
Yeah.
And then you missed the split jerk, and there was like a 2.5 or a 5 sitting there.
And I
You threw it across the room. It was awesome.
That happens sometimes. But so I think that that complex is brutal,
Yes.
and it's easy to forget how brutal.
It's
It
12 movements.
Yeah.
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 And you squat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You squat cleaned it, which I remember there's one that is squats.
Yeah.
But this one, it can be anything you want it to be.
Right.
There's a video of like Katrin, Matt, and somebody else, another dude, doing it out on the back porch at CFNE.
Okay.
And the big guy, it's a bigger guy, and he does like 235 or 245 for the whole thing. Right? Do you and it's like, he's almost he finishes that first hang, the last hang clean.
Yeah.
And he's almost passing out, and he's having to use the bouncing it off his knees, uses the bounce, gets it to the ground, bounces it, and like hits the split jerk, and then almost like passes out on the side.
Yeah. And it's really impressive.
It's insane.
Yeah. But I will tell you on my final, and if you looked at my score, I only did 4 vice 5, because quite honestly, I there was no way I did not have a fifth one in me.
And so that's the intent of it.
Yeah.
Is that you were able to get to that point, even if it was only in the fourth set.
Right.
Yeah.
But completely unexpected.
Okay.
Right.
Which cardiovascularly taxing, metabolically taxing, like just you were exhausted.
So the forearms were fried.
Okay.
Right. Which makes sense. But honestly didn't predict that at the beginning, right? So what did I do? I warmed up, right? Went through my typical warm up, all ready to go, and thought to myself, okay, let's start with 115 and just cycle through it real quick and easy peasy. This will be a good warm up weight. Yeah, drop 115 and think to myself, oh, holy shit, that 135 might be where I top out on this. That was not. I think what I thought was that was not enjoyable.
Yes.
But then you take, and I'm sure others went through this. You take a couple of maybe a little bit larger leaps, right? With the thought was that, look, I know I can handle this weight, right? So it's just kind of you gotta gut it out,
yes.
right? So it's gutting out those last 3 cleans,
yeah,
and that split jerk,
yeah.
And my split jerk, my final split jerk was most of my split jerks are ugly, but it was very ugly. Feet actually moved. Instead of at the same time, they moved separately. Like I moved this foot back and then moved my front foot forward.
To press it out, it's almost like a step forward.
Yeah,
press
yeah.
out.
I was like, oh, God, okay, when it counts, drop it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So excellent. I mean, and really from a stimulus perspective was much more difficult than it looks on paper.
Agreed.
As with a lot of things.
So I liked it that it's very similar. I had a goal in mind. I was thinking I wanted to try to get to 185.
Okay.
And it was Shelly was coaching it, which was very cool. She watched me do. So I think I went 135 first. Then I jumped to 150.
Okay.
And that 150 was crappy. My face was like, oh God, it was way harder than I expected it would be.
Yeah.
But I still made the jump, I think, to 165 to try and stay on track.
Okay.
Because then it would be 175, and then it would have been 185.
Right.
I had to recalibrate, and I thought maybe I only get 165 today.
Yeah.
And I got it, and it felt a lot better. But I missed the regrip on 4. On 175, I was coming down for the second hang clean. So I hit the high hang clean.
Yep.
I was coming down for the second hang clean.
Yep.
And I missed the regrip and it hit the ground.
Okay.
So I just stopped.
Yeah.
I said, that's it. I failed it. I'm going to wait. I will hit 175. And I finished at 175.
Right.
Which the last time we did it, I don't have the records, but I think we went 150. I think you got 150 and I got 155.
Okay.
So I told, when I walked in to 5 a.m. class, I was telling them, like, it's been a while. I was like, but I think my lifetime PR on this is 155.
Right.
And John, I found out later, John O'Neill heard that and was like, oh, because in his head, he thought he was going to get 155. I think he ended up still getting 150, maybe
yeah,
even
I looked at his score.
Like
very
he
impressive.
still did.
Yeah. Really awesome.
For me, I like that 5 pounds in this makes such a big difference. Like there is such a, right, like maybe my max clean is 245 and somebody's max clean is like 205. But in this complex, maybe I only get to a 175 and they get to like a 160. Yeah. But there's so much more, you're so much closer because it's such a long sequence of lifts that those who can kind of operate higher at their 1 rep max, either because it's more mechanics or technique limited rather than like strength limited, they get the opportunity to feel what barbell cycling, the intensity of what barbell cycling can offer. Yeah. They get to feel this and they can go a little bit heavier or maybe a little bit higher than they normally would if it was just a 1 rep max. Right. The other day we did the squat, power clean, some front squat, touch and go, squat clean. Yeah. That one limited people because of straight up strength. It was significantly shorter, complex. This one, I really enjoyed the experience watching people do exactly as you said, come to like, holy crap. And it's because it's slightly longer than 40 seconds. 40 seconds is like that pivot point. 10 seconds is the first one. 40 seconds is the next one. Yeah. And so we're asking people to go almost fully aerobic, but yet doing a very anaerobically taxing explosive movement. Right. Well past what they should, like physiological. Like you're not supposed to have to be lifting something heavy that long. If you're gonna lift something heavy, it's gonna be short, explosive. You're gonna move it, and then it's gonna you're gonna move on to something. Maybe go do exactly. Here, nope, you are under tension the entire time. Yeah. Even people that I told them they were allowed, because if it's like shoulder limitation,
Yeah.
drop it from the top, quick
Yep.
follow, touch, go.
Yep.
They still got the same stimulus.
I mean, you saw me. I was dropping from the
and
top,
but
and
it's
it was
still
absolutely
allowed. And yet you were still squatting though, which is also a totally different game.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
I saw you doing those. I was like, oh, he's gonna be angry.
Yes, I was. When you told me you were power cleaning them, I was like,
what?
That's 36 squats I did. I'm not happy about that. But interesting comment about the you said 5 pounds is such a difference.
Yeah.
So when I finished, I thought to myself, if that had been 1 ounce heavier, I would not have completed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, that's how thin the margins are.
That's it. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great complex.
So we take that.
Yep.
It's not monostructural. It's my God, I can't single modality. Woo! Almost just take that qualification right out of there, buddy. So single modality, just weightlifting.
Yep.
And we go to another single modality day, monostructural on Tuesday.
Right.
Partnered up. The idea of the partner. So in your experience, when it's something in a you go, I go structure, what's the programming method to the madness behind that? Like when you see that, what are you thinking?
So the method to the madness, I think, is that, oh, wow, there's a built-in rest here.
Yeah.
I have to go harder. Right.
Yes.
And that's,
yeah.
So I immediately thought that when I saw the program, because I thought, oh, this is genius, because what Jack is telling you by having you partner with someone is that this isn't 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, like at a nice pace. No. This is,
you go, and I told them that too in the wise 90%. Find what 50 calories at 90% feels like. Then find what 50 calories at 40 calories at 90% feels like.
Yeah.
Then 30 calories at 90%. Then 20 at 90%. And if you can hold 90% across that, like legitimately hold that, whew, good on you.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't.
No, because when you get done with the 50, you get off and you think to yourself, I cannot believe I have to get back on that.
Can I get 10 minutes rest?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we add another person in here?
Right. Because the next, what? The 3 minutes,
3.5
is not
enough.
No.
It's a 1-to-1. Generally, it's structured as a 1-to-1. Though I did, and Brian Meyer and Joan partnered up, which is actually a perfect thing. And they did it on the Echo Bike. And we scaled Joan's calories a little bit, but probably not enough to equal how fast Brian is on that Echo Bike and how efficient he is. But what he got was an opportunity where he was getting like 1 to 2 work to rest.
Got it.
She was getting like 1 to half.
Yeah.
So in a sense, which kind of sucks for her, but it's also, I told him, in the end, partners, even if it doesn't match the intended stimulus on paper, innately, naturally, organically, it figures itself out when you partner with somebody. You kind of get what you needed. Because if I partner with Rich Froning or Matt Frazier, and we're doing the exact same thing, and it's scaled effectively so that like we're close.
Yeah.
They're going to work a lot less than I am.
Right.
But that just means they're going to work that much faster and harder. So their intensity is higher. Mine is more spread out. And maybe that's what I needed. I needed a base building capacity. They needed the high power intensity. And so it ends up like, and this is all perspective. You can convince yourself whatever you want. I'm a great programmer, right? Like
amazing.
But that's what partner WODs do. And it also does exactly what you just said, the qualitative element of, oh God, I'm responsible now to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I'm responsible to our total time.
Yeah.
So you push. And that's, the 50 is a grind. The 40 just sucks. The 30, you start to get a glimpse of, can I really sprint? And the 20 and the 10, people freaking pushed.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, it was really cool to see.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the benefits of being in the box with a partner, because I didn't push because, I was.
Did you do a salt bike or a rower?
Salt bike.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and it was not anyway. But it was a lot. It was
agreed.
Get the time in, and but definitely would have preferred to do it with a partner.
So Wednesday, right? We had single modality weightlifting, single modality monostructural. You kind of have with Wednesday 2 options. right? So if you're a programmer and you're looking at it, and this is sort of like level 1, level 2 certification stuff,
Okay.
there's a pattern there: single modality, monostructural or weightlifting, monostructural.
Yep.
What's an option, right? If we're following kind of in that line, it could be single modality gymnastics.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something of like 7 minutes of burpees.
Right.
I didn't even think about that. That would have been awesome. Or 7 minutes
Thank
of
God you didn't think of that.
burpee box jump overs or something. Could have been like a push pull. Could have been, maybe a couplet, but it's still single modality in the fact that it's gymnastics.
Right.
Or we did single modality, CrossFit, couplet. It's in couplets and triplets. The magic is in couplets and triplets.
Right.
The single fact is you can expect a gymnastics to show up on Wednesday. So burpee box.
Because we haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Got it.
Burpee box jump overs show up on Wednesday.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Not surprising.
Right.
Clean and jerked, row to some machines. If we are going to do a weightlifting movement, what would you expect to see if we've done clean and jerks earlier in the week?
Well, I thought for sure it was going to be thrusters, but thank God it wasn't.
It wasn't, and it was snatches.
Yeah.
So why, and I will offer, why the 135? And if we look at 135, thinking programming and scaling, you program for the best in your gym,
right?
You scale for the rest.
Right.
I am no longer the strongest person in our gym when it comes to snatching and stuff. Alex Ray, 100% can move a barbell faster and heavier than I can.
Yeah.
However, when you couple it with those burpee box jumps over, 135 for the men, 95, 85 for the women is sort of where our gym, that's sort of the carrot right here.
Right.
If we think of it's Isabel weight, it's the medium weight that shows up in most open wads, 95, 135, 185, right? As you kind of look at barbell cycling stuff. So I want a medium weight.
Yeah.
So I program 135. Kind of makes sense. The 12-9-6 couplet, or the 12-minute AMRAP, 9 reps, 6 reps. In your mind, you look at that, like, why those numbers? If now you understand sort of snatches at a medium weight, 9 of them, 6 burpee box jump overs, it's a 12-minute AMRAP.
Right.
Like, where did those numbers come from? And this is where stuff we would always talk about, like, start doing your MIT math.
Yeah.
Of like, what's the cattle, what's the cowboy here herding the cattle into?
Well, so if you pick the right weight, right, I think the stimulus is that it takes about a minute.
Boom.
Right.
Yep.
And if it, okay, so I've got to do 6 burpees and I got to do 6 box jumps, but I've got to do them together, right?
After I just cycled a medium barbell 9 times in about a minute.
So it works itself very nicely into being an EMOM.
2 minutes in that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got it.
And then the goal.
Every minute on the minute for our 9 listeners who don't know what EMOM stands for.
Jeez. I mean, I'm one of them and I'm on the podcast, so you're down to 8. But what's interesting is, so your goal should be, okay, can I get over 6, right?
Yes.
Over 6 rounds.
And that's a push goal.
Right.
Right.
And can I not blow myself up? Because this would be Andy.
Like 107 in the first round.
Right.
Right. The snatches are done in 35 seconds. You're boom, 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 over the boxes. And then like, oh,
and then the next round is 3.5 minutes.
You're like, all right, I'm right on pace for 2 rounds. 2-minute rounds.
Perfect. Exactly where I want to be. Yeah. So can you avoid the balance? Yeah. Can you avoid the drop off?
Yeah.
In the later round.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. And that's the guidance. That's the whiteboard brief that we kind of gave. That I gave. What was funny is, so I love some of the folks at 6 a.m. They kind of come in, and I'll get sort of the initial, like, we were looking at it, and they kind of sell each other out because they're talking and texting back and forth and stuff. Right. And so I'll name names. So Kelly sort of sold out Sam because Sam's like, oh, all right. So she didn't actually look at the watch. She just went with his interpretation of it.
Okay.
And he goes, yeah, it's a heavy snatch, and then it's 6, and then it's the burpee box jumps. But when she thought he said it was 61 burpee box jump overs. So 12-minute AMRAP of 9 heavy snatches, 61 burpee box jump overs. And she's like, so I thought like, okay, so the 9 heavy snatches, maybe that takes like 3 or 4 minutes. And then it's just you're just trying to get as deep or as many of because we've done them before where it's not really an AMRAP. It's like open style AMRAP.
Right.
Like he or she who can get through a round is well done.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the AMRAP we're going to do on Saturday.
Yeah.
Where it's all the load again, but you can break it up how you want.
Yep.
And so I just laughed. I said, that's classic. This, as a word nerd, is completely why translations matter. Like I could read War and Peace by like some really horrible translator and read a totally different novel than somebody who actually understood how to translate it. What were the cultural innuendos, like all of that stuff. So translation matters, interpretation matters. I was like, you need to pick a better translator because A, it's a medium light snatch. B, it's 6 burpee box jump overs.
Well,
and it's a 12-minute AMRAP.
So Sam had his own intent.
And that's right. And that goes all the way back to when we prescribe a weight, it is a guide based on the right side of the bell curve of the gym.
Yeah.
And as a gym, that's sort of where we are at.
Right.
And I like that. But it's also, it's not all the way at the right side of the bell curve. There's at least 2 or 3 people who should actually probably go a little bit on the men and women's side. Who should go a little bit heavier than that. 155 for for 1 or 2 of the guys, and probably 105 for there's like 2 women who I think could throw that around.
Right.
And that's going to cause them to feel in those burpee box jumps like I was feeling at 135, and it's going to keep them where, like you just described, 6 is doable, 6 is the win.
Right.
6 plus, you're going to have to pay. For it. And you could easily sink back into 4 or 5 if you don't play it well and don't blow yourself up.
Right. So I have not done it yet, but that's my exact thought process when choosing my weight.
So I will tell you, Mike went 135 and he got 5.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good weight for him. He actually did a great job. He put 10s on the 25, so he put 2 10s on the outside to give him the option. And I was like, is this to give you the option to strip if you want to? And he goes, yeah. Because he's like, I don't know. Right?
Yeah,
I like that he gave himself that option, an easy kind of split. Drew went 95.
Okay.
To practice because he needs to drop under it. Luis went 115 or 105.
Yep.
He went 115 and it stayed smooth.
Right.
So I think in your warm-ups, get a sense of like time yourself for 3 reps, 3 snatches. If you can hold them fresh in that 5 to 7 second range, it'll be there in the workout.
Well, and that's I mean, I think I was thinking 115.
Yeah.
But then snatch is interesting because it is one of those things where if everything's clicking on a particular day,
it feels great.
Yeah. And you go, maybe today's the day to push it.
I will say the burpee box jump overs messed with me way more than I expected.
Yeah, and I find that interesting. And now you've got me worried because in my head, I always think back to that 2017
the
open
snatches
WOD.
and the burpees.
Yeah, and I just go, well, if we survive that, then this will be,
it's to stay on the EMOM or in that 50 to 55 seconds on those snatches is a lot more expensive than, and so do the math on it. I did 6 plus 5. It's 6 rounds and I got 5 snatches.
Yeah.
So that's 59 snatches in 6.5 minutes. Go back to the increasing snatch weight, that 17-minute mashed up AMRAP of burpees and snatches.
Yeah.
We only did 30 at 135.
Right.
So it's a lot more. That's the beauty of EMOMs.
It builds very quickly.
It sneaks up on you quickly, and if you maintain that consistency, you're gonna pay for it somewhere. I knew I was gonna pay for it somewhere. I thought it would be the snatches would slow down.
Right.
But I drove myself to keeping those consistent.
Got it.
And I knew I could spend a second or 2 on the burpees without them completely imploding.
Okay.
This is for you as an athlete, right? Like you have to balance both of those probably a little bit more than I did.
Because I could convince myself
to just quit on the snatches or the burpees.
On the burpee box.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because I could convince myself, stay on the bar. Right.
Yes.
And I can stay on the bar and then walk over to the box and stare at it.
Right. So I'd go back to your original assessment. The challenge is an EMOM.
Yeah.
It's an EMOM
Right.
of snatches followed by an EMOM. It's an alternating EMOM, 6 rounds of an alternating EMOM.
Yeah.
Snatches, burpees, snatches, burpees.
Yep.
So even if that means reduce the rep count, the volume of the burpee box jump overs, but I don't think you have to.
No. I think that at least for the first, I think 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I can maintain
And then you
that.
and then you
just,
can suffer through 2 more.
Right. And then just gut it out
Yep.
for the next 6 minutes.
Yep.
Try that. So okay.
All right.
Cool.
So we've hit all the modalities. We've hit a weightlifting twice. We've hit a monostructural. We've hit a gymnastics.
Yep.
We've done kind of single modality. We've gone short-ish with the big clean complex. We went longer, 15 plus.
Right.
Most everyone is 15 plus. We had a couple freak shows who were in the 13, 14-minute range with that. They had no business being on the C2 bike. They should have been on the Echo bike.
Exactly.
Big guys. And now we went sort of medium at 12 minutes.
Right.
So from time domain, what would you expect to see on Thursday?
On Thursday. See, so Thursday is always the tough one, right? Yeah. Because I was so impressed with your programming from this past Thursday, and it reminded me of the importance of, you and I talked about this before, the back issues that I've had and the shoulder issue that I have is all related to the fact that I'm ignoring
scap.
Yeah, I'm ignoring what we used to call this accessory work.
Yes.
Right. And
which it is still on that track that's stolen from you.
Right.
Thank you very much for that name.
The last Thursday's WOD was a perfect example of, hey, Jack's programming stuff that if you haven't been doing CrossFit a long time, you may look at it and go,
this is dumb.
Yeah. But if you're in it for the long haul,
which was funny, a lot of them Friday and Saturday, a lot of athletes came in there like, man, my shoulders are really sore.
Of course, because you never do that type of movement.
Right, and all they did was the pull aparts, the pull downs, then over some good mornings, a little bit of rowing at some intensity, but not a whole lot of intensity. Right, 12 to 15 calories just get you nice and out of breath, and then high box jumps. Right. So it wasn't that much.
Right.
And I know this is FYI, folks. This is a really hard question to ask somebody because it is infinitely variable. That's the beauty of CrossFit is the infinite variability. So,
and of course, I want to impress you,
right,
by giving you the right answer.
It's impossible. Right. But you did nail it. You nailed with the the big clean complex. So that's what I mean. There's so much, and you just nailed it with what the 12-minute alternating. It is. It should have been a 1-minute alternating EMOM. Yeah. 6 rounds for time, or 6 rounds in that. So you're right on Thursdays. It's difficult. It's a great day to sneak in things. It becomes kind of the kitchen. Right. Thursdays and Saturdays kind of can become the kitchen sink of days. Yeah. Where we did rope climbs a couple weeks ago with the homage to some of the previous games workouts. Yeah. So we had rope climbs in it. But man, vicious. She's a vicious dog. She's vicious watchdog. Yeah.
Protecting us.
There's rope climbs.
Okay. Beautiful.
There's handstand push-ups. There's handstand walking. And it's all kind of mixed in with a series of to get people. And now this is sort of the programming mixture of I only have 3 ropes and I want everybody on a rope. I want everybody. I don't want any sort of modified rope pulls or what. I want people on that rope doing something. Maybe it's rope walks from some rounds, but I want them ascending on the handstands. I want people getting upside down. On handstand walks, I want people traversing in an inverted way. Well, I don't have that much space. I'm limited. If I've got a 12-person class and I've only got 3 ropes, I can't make it an AMRAP. I can't make it a rounds for time. There's going to be traffic issues. EMOMs are a beautiful thing. I want to go a little long. I want the long to kind of be built in so that it keeps people moving consistently across. And I want push and pull. And I want primarily, I've had 2 weightlifting movements this week
Yeah,
so far.
So you need to
I
pick
need
up
to
some-
balance out monostructural and gymnastics.
Yep.
So it's a alternating EMOM, minute 1, 12 to 15 calorie ski erg this time.
Okay.
So we've got
Yep.
a pool with a lot of hip action. And we did the
Yep.
ski erg last week with that psychotic Friday workout, which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
awesome.
Which I did not do.
But then you're going to alternate that with rope climbs, 2 to 3 rope climbs in the minute. So,
Okay.
so interfering pull.
Absolutely.
and pull.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do 12 to 15 calories on the echo bike in the next minute.
Okay.
And you're going to do 5 to 10 strict handstand push-ups. Kind of a
Okay.
big window,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
again, I want them unbroken. They don't have to be unbroken, but it's about 30 to 40 seconds of work. So if you
Yep.
look at this EMOM, it's about 45 to 50 seconds of some sort of monostructural work.
Yep.
40-ish seconds of some sort of gymnastics work. 45 to 50 seconds of some sort of monostructural work. 40 to 45 seconds of gymnastics work. 40 to or 50-ish seconds of monostructural work. 40 to 45 seconds of gymnastics work. So it's always a little bit longer monostructural,
Okay.
but still always with somewhere between 10 to 20 seconds
Yep.
to rest and transition 3 times through that. So 6 different things.
Yep.
Now if I have a 12-person class, I can start 2 people
Yeah.
at each of the
right.
spots,
Yep.
and we just
Yep.
kind of water flow through.
Yep.
And after the first time through, it all sort of blends to keep them moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, so strict handstand push-ups, then calorie row, and then a handstand walk.
Okay.
So the idea is 2-ish 10-foot unbroken 10-foot handstand walks.
Okay.
And that could be like as many as 4 if somebody's really proficient in it.
Yeah.
Or 4 10-foot bear crawl
Yep.
walks.
Yeah.
And that's
getting on the hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
all with a vision towards we have the games wads next week.
Right.
There is strict handstand push-ups in there.
Uh-huh.
Deficit strict handstand push-ups with the damn Diane.
Right.
There is the row, the 1,000-meter row for time
Oh, yep.
is
yep.
next week.
Okay.
So I want people to practice short bursts, but
Yeah.
bursts that are sustainable at a certain pace.
Okay.
And so there you go. So Thursday is this weird nebulous day in the week where a lot of people take it as a rest day. A lot of people like to come 5 days a week, but they have no business doing 5 days of insane intensity, or
Yeah.
else by the time they hit Friday, they're just going to hurt themselves.
Right.
So they can dial it down a little bit.
Yep.
It could be a lot of skill work with just a nice little get my heart rate up a little bit and sweat, but it's not super intense. Or if somebody comes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, you can crush yourself with
Yes.
this one.
Absolutely. I like the gymnastics work while
Fatigued.
fatigued.
So, and
Yeah.
again, and I thought about that. This is very similar to what gets programmed on Successory Track,
Okay.
right? It's like every 4 minutes, do 10 calories on the Echo Bike, 30-second unbroken toes to bar, 30-second rest,
Yep.
30 seconds unbroken toes to bar.
Okay.
And you're trying to max out and match those toes to bar. So now
Yep.
you're practicing toes to bar when a little out of breath, built-in rest, 5 rounds of that, right? It's not
Your form immediately starts, or
You got
not
it.
immediately.
You got
For me, it immediately starts
But
falling
it-
apart.
right, but it-
fatigue.
it builds in well, I can only do 2 toes to bar unbroken and keep my form.
Right.
It's okay, well, no big deal. You only do 2.
Right.
That's sort
Right.
of, so successory work is both, it's added volume, but it's also the opportunity to practice
Yeah.
cycling movements that you wouldn't normally do, so that when it shows up in the WOD, you now have a sort of a litmus test of I can cycle 3 toes to bar.
Yep.
When tired, when fresh, when whatever. I can
Yep.
cycle 15 when fresh, but then I'm down to singles pretty quickly. But I can keep 3s to do.
And having that knowledge,
Yeah.
right? So if you went to your Tuesday write-up, was that
Yeah.
yesterday's write-up, where you?
It was Mondays, but I did it
Okay.
for the whole week. I posted it for the whole
you
week.
did post it for the whole week, but
Yeah.
I just I mean, what if you have that knowledge, then being able to practice what you're saying, which is trying to maximize your power output, being good at pacing,
Yes.
right? You need that type of knowledge in order to be good at pacing.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're doing this through your WOD instead of trying to do,
You got
kind
it.
of steady state performance. So
And that's it. And that's in the end, what you just described, that's what makes CrossFit something that is different than just Zumba or Soul Cycle or
Right.
even Orange Theory. Like they don't, yes, it's observable, measurable, repeatable, but you're using just heart rate. There's no other, and again, I am not as intelligent in those practices as I am with CrossFit, but it's missing the observable and measurable, repeatable part as explicitly as this is. Like I know what Luis can cycle when it comes to a barbell and then other movements.
Right.
I know what is going to happen if he runs too fast. I know what's going to happen if he, pushes himself here and here. I've watched Sam for the last 2 years become an athlete who can do things that if he were to come up against his previous self 2 years ago, current Sam would look like, oh, I'm never going to get there.
Right.
Funny thing is, current Sam doesn't look back. He just looks at like, I'm never going to get there. Right. Like, so it's sort of that, but that's why you have a coach. And that's my job, is to keep reminding him, like, dude, you are so amazing. Right. Yeah. Like he walks into almost any gym in the country, anywhere, any affiliate.
Yeah.
He's top. Whoa. Oh, that happens every single time. I do.
It really scared you.
It does. Because I'm like, what the hell is that? I think it's going to end, but it's just because I forget to mute the thing. So we're not done yet.
Okay.
All right. So Friday. It's a.
I want to guess chipper, but I know I'm wrong.
So
because you told me Thursday, so now
it was sort of well, that was the chipper,
right?
Because it's a shitload of movements.
Yeah.
So we've done a couplet, we've done single modality, we've done a chipper.
Yeah.
What do you think Friday is?
Oh man, couplet or triplet?
It's triplet.
Okay.
Right. So I said because we did the couplet, we did single modality, we've done a chipper.
So it's a triplet.
It's a triplet.
Okay.
And it's funny, like it's called triple threat because it is a 3 rounds for time of a chipper, or of a triplet, and it's
3 rounds for time.
3 rounds for time of this triplet, and it goes down in sort of a 21-15-9 structure,
right?
But with one of the movements slightly more, and one of the movements slightly less. So the structure being 3 rounds for time, 27 double unders, 21 deadlifts, 15 toes to bar. Then we decrease. 21 double unders, 15 power cleans, 9 toes to bar. Then we decrease again, 15 double unders, 9 overhead squats, 3 toes to bar. So the double unders and the toes to bar stay the same, but they decrease in number. And the barbell movement increasingly gets more difficult, ending with, and this whole thing started, I wanted to do 155-pound overhead squats.
Okay.
When tired.
Yep.
Because heavy overhead squats are coming next week for Nasty Nancy.
Yep.
And I want people to like have a benchmark from this workout. In their wheelhouse, in their reservoir.
Right. That's
whatever weight they use for this workout is probably the weight they should use for Nasty Nancy.
Got it.
And that's the whole, like this whole thing then got built around that based on, we hadn't done double unders yet. I wanted to do some more practice with double unders.
Yep.
We hadn't done toes to bar. I needed to get toes to bar in there for the week. So this was the last one that I wrote for the week.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And it's kind of the idea of triple threat. So it's the 3 rounds.
Yep.
It's a triplet and it's 3 different barbell movements.
So I was super excited until I heard the
9
overhead squats.
9 overhead squats at 155.
Besides that, I was very excited, but that's okay. Hey, we all have our weaknesses.
I bet you could do 135.
Yeah.
And that's right. That tells you. So you look at Nasty Nancy, and I think it's 185, 125.
Yep.
It was programmed 185, 125. 185 for the guys, 125 for the women.
Yep.
For our programming purposes for next week, the men's weights don't exist.
Right.
Those are ridiculous. Yeah. FYI, the women's weights
for ridiculous.
men are ridiculous.
Yes.
Those women are amazing. So Team Richie, what guy, whatever his first name, I never know what his first name is.
Team
does Damn Diane against Tia split screen.
Okay.
Gets crushed
at the women's weight.
At 205 deadlift.
Absolutely.
And he's a strong. He's strong. He's pretty fit with his gymnastics.
Right.
It's not that the deadlifts look easy. They don't. he cycles them and
Right.
he moves them quick. He moves them well.
Right.
But by the third round of 15, the look on his face to hit those deadlifts is like, his handstand push-ups in that third round completely fall
apart. Yeah.
You watch Tia. She moves that barbell at 205. Like, I'm gonna move this 155 in this workout.
Like, it's not.
So because I thought, like, well, I could do Diane at the, I'm gonna try that one at the guy's weight, and then I was like, 315. Well, that's just silly, and so that's it.
Even with my
Right.
super long arms,
I'll do it.
still
I'll do it at 225. I'll do it at regular Diane weight, and I go, if you're freaking scaling, just try to do it at 205. Do it with the 1.5 inch deficit or 2 inch deficit the women did, and try to see if you can beat Brooke Wells or Tia or one of them, right? I'm not. I bet you I don't.
No, I mean
they're ridiculous.
Yes,
absolutely. They're so amazing.
Absolutely. If I can do a games WOD at the female weight, I know that I'm
one
really
fit dude.
Good.
Fit person.
Yeah.
So it's that's a cool. So that's what this one sets up is. I know I'm gonna have people ask, which is totally fine. Well, wait a second. I mean, I can only do a 75-pound overhead squat.
Right.
And my answer is gonna be just go faster in the deadlifts then.
Yeah.
It's one barbell. There will be a limiting factor in this barbell movement, and it is the overhead squat.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right.
There is on paper this looks initially like, oh, okay. And then you start to actually look into it like, oh, wait.
By the time you get to that.
Wait.
Yeah. And the good thing is, right? So I love how you said that. It's just move faster.
Yeah.
Right? Or move better.
With that deadlift.
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
There's no breaking in that deadlift.
Right.
Oh, by the way, when you finish those 21 deadlifts, let's say I am. I can only overhead squat 75 pounds.
Right.
Great. When you do those 21 deadlifts unbroken at 75 pounds, I want you to hit that bar on the toes to bar, and I want you to do 2 big sets of toes to bar. You let me know how your midline feels after that. Right back into those double unders. You'll be good.
Plenty of weight.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Who's she scratching for, right?
She's like, come open the door, dumbass.
And then we'll you got places to go and people to talk to. Saturday.
Yeah, let's talk about Saturday.
I wrote it up. The write up. This is I have picked for everyone. Initially, I thought like, okay, maybe each person will individually have their own AMRAP time. Right?
Okay.
They'll take the aggregate of whatever ones they've done, blah, 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 blah. But then I was like, nah, that's a coaching nightmare. I'm not going to be coaching it. So I don't want to leave that's a bit of a shit show to leave.
Yeah.
So it's 18 minutes. So across the gym.
Perfect.
What that was, and I went back to, and the write-up, the chipper version, the chipper version was statistically the slowest version for everybody.
Yep.
And its average time was right about 18. It was like 18:16 or 18:17, something like that.
Right.
Everyone got about a minute faster. Most everyone were there somewhere in between their chipper and their 3 rounds for time. There was a couple guys I said who had gotten even faster, which just shows that for them, they're constantly leaving intensity on the table. So if we come back to, all right, when given the opportunity to do this as just one time through, one fell swoop, 18 was the average time.
Yep.
Then 18 is the average time. You do your reps per second. If I hold it at like a consistent, whatever my math was of the reps per second, 18 minutes makes sense.
Yep.
That's basically, I think it was like 4 seconds or 5 seconds a rep.
I think it's 5 seconds. It's 300. No, it's more than 300 reps.
It's 300 reps on the dot. If we do like the double unders count, by threes, the rower counts 15 meters for a rep.
Yep.
So all that said, this allows for somebody to play with what works best for them. And Drew is a perfect example. I told him he can keep his sit-ups and snatches broken up in 3s. So 20 sit-ups, 30 snatches, 20 sit-ups, 30 snatches, 20 sit-ups, 30 snatches.
Yep.
his row kind of fell apart.
Yep.
Right at about the 300-meter mark each time.
Okay.
He couldn't sustain that pace.
Yep.
So I said, all right, so he's pretty quick with transitions.
Yep.
His double unders fall apart when they're really big sets, when they're more than about 30.
Yep.
So treat it like almost 2 little couplets. 20, 30, 20, 30, 20, 30. Done with that stuff.
Yep.
30 dubs, 300-meter row. 30 dubs, 300-meter row. 5 rounds of that. 30 dubs, 300-meter row. 30 dubs, 300-meter row. He adds transitions, but if he can keep those dubs unbroken and keep his 300-meter under 155, then he's going to be moving. He'll definitely finish under 18 minutes.
Yep.
And then I said, stay with dubs and the other one, or if you really are like, I can't do those anymore, just stay on the erg, or just go back to the other one, and you're just chipping in at that point. It's all bonus.
Right.
And that, because he was never, or maybe I can't remember if he was under 18 minutes, but like that for him, that's a very specific prescription that he's going to optimize how much he can do.
Right.
And in the end, like this isn't how workouts are probably going to show up in competition.
Right.
What it shows is rounds for times are training workouts. They allow you to optimize power output because you're breaking up the work in set amounts at right about capacity, right before you need to break stuff up.
Yeah.
So you can just keep moving. Transitions are built-in rests. You can't get away from their assumed friction. Chippers are tests. If all you ever use, people love chippers. Some hate them, but most people love chippers because they're just fun. Because I finish a movement, I keep it it's in my rearview mirror, you move on. But they're tests. If you struggle with a movement and that movement luckily shows up early in a chipper, you get to hide from that weakness. If it shows up later in the move, if double unders like Filthy 50 are one of the last movements, it sucks because you just trip. Double unders in a couplet constantly keep showing up. And you can actually get the opportunity to practice it when fatigued, and it becomes more almost like that EMOM structure. Yeah. And so there you go. Like that's where we've kind of run the gamut on. We're going to do it as a chipper. I made them do it. I did it as a chipper, made them do it as 3 round, a 5 round, got a sense of like what really is pacing and rounds per or reps per second, seconds per rep. And then that AMRAP now is you got to pick.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful opportunity to learn about yourself as an athlete, right? Because there was an open WOD that was the rowing, the wall balls, and the muscle ups.
Oh,
and you could go in any order you wanted.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's a great opportunity to just say, hey, where are my limits?
Right.
Right.
Most of us broke up the muscle up and wall ball and then saved the row for the end.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yep. Or there were people like me who were like, okay, so what's my limit on wall balls? I knew exactly what my limit on wall balls was. And then I kind of structured everything else
around the wall balls. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a cool WOD. I think that, I improved from the 3 rounds to 5 rounds. I improved because
you got faster in the 5 rounds.
Yeah. Because I'm that guy that gets caught up in big sets.
You broke up. The 3 rounds was still too big of sets for you.
Yeah, like the 30 snatches. Yeah. So I would do 20 of them. And then I'd put the dumbbell down and I'd look around and I'd have some water, change the station. I mean, yeah, like honestly. But the 5 rounds was just like
move. Yes. Yeah.
So
did you do it as the chipper? Did you do all 3? Okay.
I did not. And I was going to try and fit it in this week because I was interested, but I already know, to be honest with you.
And that's actually, I agree with you. Like it's kind of one of those like, and it's worth experiencing it, but you've experienced those things before.
Right.
It was unfair. Joan and Roger had not done any of the previous ones. And so the 5 rounds for time was the first time that they experienced it.
Yeah.
They did not fare well. I think both of them were over 20 minutes. So again, I say they did fine. They're both really fit athletes. It was but
they didn't
statistically speaking, the window for this is 16 to 18 minutes.
Right.
That's where this should hover.
Right.
They were outside of that window. And I told them it has nothing to do with their fitness.
No.
It is unfair comparatively, them watching Joe and Kevin, who it's their third time through this set of work,
Right.
they knew exactly what it was going to feel like.
Yep.
And they knew how hard they could push those 5 rounds because they had pushed it in the 3 and they had suffered through the chipper.
Yep.
Throwing that at somebody for the first time as a 5 rounds for time, they broke up stuff way too much.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh my God, this hurts so much. They had not had the experiential knowledge of like, no, this hurts. But I remember how much it hurt as 3 rounds. And I really remember how much it hurt as the chipper.
Right.
The 5 round guys were really able to push. And the fact that they all went faster means now that they know, they can do bigger sets, which removes some transitions and allows them to maybe even go faster.
Yep. So it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
So method to the madness, right? 4 weeks of effort across this. You know, people could be like, this is a little bit too nerdy for me. Like, I don't understand. What's the point? I always have my eye towards the open.
Yeah.
And open is all about just consistent pacing. It's capacity. It's metabolic, cardiovascular capacity. The first 3 wads of any open workout, definitely the first 2 wads of an open
it's
cycle.
not going to be high skill.
No.
It's not going to.
Third week is usually where something high-end gymnastics is introduced to kind of do as a separator. Fourth week, and these are all usual. There's variations. Fourth week is usually where we see the first heavy barbell. And then the 5th week is sort of a return to sort of capacity, but it's capacity with like how much are our top 20 willing to suffer, because they're trying to get differentiation from the top 40 to the top 20. Right. So the first wad is sort of like everybody gets to play. Let's just see who's done work. Right. Second wad is let's see who's done homework, because now we're going to add transitions. Do you know your pacing? Can you get into a set cycle? It's usually the longer one, like 20 or 18 minutes. Third week is like, all right, now I'm going to hit you. Who can move well, and move well when tired. Then the 4th week is who can earn a heavy barbell. Now you're down to like, you've got probably 100 or so, or maybe like 60 athletes who are legitimately in the running for that top 20. That last wad is like, all right, who wants to pay to play? And usually at that point, your top 10 are already determined. Your next 5 are pretty set. It's those bubble 5, 15 to 25 place that he's really trying, he being Dave Castro, is trying to weed out. For us who don't exist in that sphere, if you looked at the arc of the open, we can follow a very similar arc. Right. Week 1 is exciting, everyone knows, but it's like you've done all this work to know how can you move to not blow out. That's what week 1 is really like. The first, did you do your homework for the last 365 days? Right. To see, have I gotten fitter? There's usually a repeat one in there, which 9 times out of 10, everybody does better in, because you just have seen it. And as long as you've been consistently coming to the box. But there's usually that wad in there that will do exactly what we're doing right now. It was the snatch, dumbbell snatch, burpee box jump rope. Last year, it was the barbell snatch, burpee over the bar. Oh, geez. Right? The 8 snatches, 10 bar facing burpees. That one was, can I find a pace at 95% and just stay? One year, it was it was double unders, toes to bar, dumbbell thruster, I think. Double dumbbell thruster. 1 year it was the hang dumbbell clean and the walking lunge and the thing. So like they always show up as certain versions, but in the year when it's like, oh, this is the pacing wad. This is the wad where this project will pay dividends for those who've done. And we're going to do it again. Right. Maybe with some more gymnastic-y movements. Right. Double unders, toes to bar and stuff. But there you go. That's
and I would say, even if you don't have your eye towards the open, right? Having this knowledge when you go into a workout is beneficial to avoid the blow up.
Yes.
Also avoid leaving intensity on the table.
Right.
So when you go and when you complete your workout, you want to feel like you've done the best you could have done, right? And walking into the workout, that's why whenever I come to the box, I'm always like, well, what's the stimulus, right? Like, what's the intent? Why?
Yeah.
Because I want to know what I'm trying to accomplish it so that I can approach the WOD correctly. Because in the end, I want to get the maximum amount of my time.
Right. You've got legitimately 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's
Right.
the whole point. You want to Pat Sherwood this.
Yeah. I don't want to be at the end of the workout and go, man.
Yeah, that was a waste of my 40 minutes.
Yeah. If I could have gone harder, or I shouldn't have gone as hard here.
Right. Right.
So having that knowledge before you even start the WOD is, gets you a better WOD.
And it's cool to watch some of the athletes figure this out, like on their own. And you can tell, I can tell they've been thinking about it based on the questions. The questions aren't like that they're, Monique does a great job of asking, like, what kind of, oftentimes she'll ask, like, how many rounds are we shooting to go here? And I've started pushing back a little bit. Hopefully it's not sounding like it might come across as I'm being douchey, but it's not. Like, it's well, no, I don't want to just keep giving the answer.
Right.
Take a swag at it. You're allowed to be wrong. Like, be wrong.
Yeah.
That
what do you think?
Right now it's a conversation. And right, exactly. Right. And the other day she did, like, she's like, so I'm thinking it was a question in a statement, actually. I'm thinking this should be a 3 or 4 rounds. I said, yeah. For you though, I would rather you be closer to 5, And it was like, okay. It was a really cool conversation. So that's what I mean. Like, you can tell people are spending the time thinking about it.
Yeah. And realizing that there's a benefit.
Right. There you go. Right. It's not just, academic masturbation of like, let's nerd out on this stuff. Like, no, this is the method. It's observable. Right. That's the observable, measurable, repeatable stuff.
Yep.
That why we keep doing it. It's not random. Varied, but it's not random.
Right. Exactly.
And my last thing, this is what facilitates an acceptance of scaling. Because many of us, even if we can do that weight, you can do 135-pound snatches.
Right.
The question is, to hit the intended stimulus, should you do or should you do 95-pound snatches? Right. Is your focus, as much as you might not want it to be, burpee box jump overs today?
Right.
Or is it snatch?
Right.
But if you only have 45 minutes and the workout is actually somewhat also emotional mental therapy, well, fuck those burpee box jump overs. Just throw 130.
Rip it.
That's right. Like, so that's a choice. And it's like, that's a 100% legitimate choice too.
Yeah.
So but you have to ask those questions. And now it makes scaling not a bad word.
Right.
Scaling is the path to improvement.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing that allows us to all keep getting better.
Yep.
As coaches, I've watched Mary and Shelly. Amy already was very talented at it, but she's gotten really, really good at it.
Right.
Eric always has been, like, on the fly will come up with amazing mods and scales for people. I'm like, damn, that was a good one. But Shelly especially has she's found her own style of it, which is really cool. And she's actually my gratitude this week. I'm transitioning right into the gratitude.
Gratitude's very good.
Her artful navigation of me as an athlete with just very gentle, like, on the big clean complex. She saw my face.
Right.
I probably would have pushed and failed 175 and 185. But she came over with just an eye. Are you okay? What's up?
Right.
Is everything, like, she's like, feeling okay today? It wasn't is your knee hurt or whatever. It's just, are you feeling okay? And I was like, that sucked. She's like, yeah, it looked like it was really just not clicking. She's like, it is what it is. Maybe you just pick a weight and stick with it for today. And I went, I don't like that, but I do like what you're doing.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
She got me out of my own head. And she offered an option of scaling. Right. She de-escalated it to, hey, by the way, this will probably, without saying it, this will probably make it a better workout for you if you do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that was a really good coaching move there, lady.
Right. Awesome.
So thank you, Shelly.
Awesome.
Good coaching.
Awesome.
What you got?
So, man, gratitude. And I obviously, as soon as you said gratitude, I went into panic mode. So I was like, oh my God, I don't have a gratitude.
But this is why it's okay. As long if you do it every day, then it's extremely low stakes, because then everybody, you didn't use me as your gratitude.
But you know what I'm gonna say? Honestly, I'm gonna say, and this is, people are gonna laugh at me, but I'm gonna say our woman who watches our kids, and Maddie's teacher. So I'm calling the educators, right? I mean, I can't say enough good things about Karen. She's done an amazing job with with our twins over the past. They've only been there for a couple of months, but just amazing things with them. And we were talking about Indian Creek and what a great job they're doing with the students there. So I do think my gratitude is, that has taken a lot of load off my shoulders, knowing that there is that group of people who are helping me with what's most important in life.
Yeah.
So
it's funny you say that's a good one. Foxes, dogs, jeez.
Combination of multiple things in our neighborhood.
I think it's a fox because it sounds like a baby. Wow. We've got some very aggressive foxes at the marina. Yeah, they come out at like the 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning time
Is
frame.
that why you guys are so damn fast? Because the foxes? Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
You having an appreciation for those people. I heard something recently of like if you looked at a home care specialist or a stay-at-home mom in the 60s and 70s,
right?
The amount of time that those people actually spent with their children
yeah.
is significantly less than what the average working mother currently spends today. and now fathers.
Right.
And the anecdotal is like, yeah, dads didn't go to your sporting events. They didn't go watch you play football and this scrimmage and that scrimmage. Like, we have imposed upon ourselves this expectation that you will be involved in every aspect of your child's life.
Right.
Versus realizing like it's out. There's like a dog out running around. There's worth in like the kid developing relationships with other people, having other mentors, other examples of, different values and virtues in their lives.
Yeah.
And if it's people that you trust and show like, I say good, like, cause then it allows you to continue to develop you to then be a better version of you when you're with those kids and your wife and I think that's a really cool gratitude for someone knowing your situation and how much you and Issa have put in with those twins and Maddie and just and at the time of transitioning from the Navy to the civilian world of like you guys kind of ran the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And so I'm very glad. I'm very happy to hear that, because it can be unsuccessful, right? Like you can struggle to find the right pocket of people and the right help. And
trust me, it's taken a while. So I think maybe that's why
you're losing it with these leaves. So Andy spent about 45 minutes cleaning the porch of leaves before we started, and they are now more or less
like I didn't even
covered again.
Oh well.
I got a great lawn guy. I'll send him your way. He's awesome.
This was awesome.
This was fun, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Hoips, on Hoipy Baby number 2. I look forward to meeting him and calling him by his rightful name, Axel. That was in the running. That was in the running.
It's a good one. I like it.
He put that on Facebook, so it's not like really. I have no idea if that's what his name is, but that's what his nickname's gonna be.
Hopefully we'll know.
That's how you win. That's it. Like even if if I had a name for Andrew and we decided to name him Andrew Thomas Ryan, and then I just call him the nickname, which is what I wanted to call him anyway. Like, right?
That's
you still win. Win-win.
Right.
The one partner wins, the other partner wins. There you go. Good to go.
All about compromise.
That's right. All right, folks. Have a great weekend. We will see you off, and on the creek.